Hi, I'm Nancy Bowen. I'm the Executive Director for the Nevada Primary Care Association, and I'm here to talk to you today about performance management. So I have over 20 years of experience working in nonprofit management and leadership. I received my master's degree in applied industrial and organizational psychology. And because of that, I do have a passion for mentoring individuals and finding the right career path that fits their strengths and values. And this is a quote from Peter Drucker that I really like. When people are financially invested, they want a return. When people are emotionally invested, they want to contribute. And I will have to say that most employers want their employees to contribute and not just be there to collect a paycheck. So this is a little bit about the organization that I work for. We are the federally designated primary care association for the state of Nevada. We work with federally qualified health centers, tribal health centers, and other safety net providers to enhance their capacity and ability to provide primary care to the underserved populations in our state. We do this by training and technical assistance, which is to improve access to care, improve clinical and financial performance of the health centers, and to improve the health outcomes and health equity in our state. We also provide policy analysis and advocacy work. We work closely with State Medicaid Office, the State Primary Care Office, and other national organizations to educate policymakers on the health center program and its value to patients. And we also create economies of scale for health centers through program management and assist them in adapting to the ever-changing demands of the evolving healthcare environment. So at the end of this presentation, these are objectives that I hope you'll be able to achieve. Describe what performance management is, list the components of performance management cycle, understand the importance of regular communication between the supervisor and direct reports, and describe what a stay interview is. So the history of performance appraisals. Performance management has been around for a very, very long time. Its original form was the annual performance evaluation, where employers gave employees feedback on the performance once a year. With only getting and giving feedback once a year, this generally caused apprehension between the supervisor and the employee. And if it was a bad review, it sometimes came as a shock to the employee. In addition, managers were sometimes hesitant to provide candid feedback or have honest conversations with their employees for fear of losing those individuals they relied on to get their work done. Even if it was a positive review, managers saw it as a task of something they had to do, instead of a discussion to improve the employee and employer work relationship and learn the employee's goals. So supervisors sometimes just thought they'd just get it over with, which is having a quick conversation, which this comic implies. It was done through a text message, which I hope no employee reviews are ever done that way. And it's just, sometimes they just do it, they want to get it over with, they don't want to have a discussion. And so that is the history of it. And today, performance management is really an ongoing conversation between the supervisor and the direct reports. And it's used to identify employee successes or barriers to their effective performance. This is done through constant monitoring, conversations, coaching, and development interventions, and barriers to employee achievement are addressed immediately. This creates several administrative decisions. Leaders have a much better understanding of employee skills and knowledge and how they will help the organization achieve their strategic plan. Performance management also helps leaders understand which employees have the potential to rise into leadership roles as part of their succession planning. It lets employees know when employees are ready for a promotion. So sometimes it doesn't have to be on the annual review. This can be done throughout the year. Employee is progressing well and they're really having a really effective performance, so you promote them in the middle of the year. It is also used to decide performance-based salary and performance-based pay. So what it does do, Simply put, performance management is the process used to shape employee performance throughout the year. Improved employee performance equals improved organizational performance. It supports employees' development towards achieving higher standards of quality work. It encourages employee empowerment by having them be part of the conversation, not just receiving direction. It helps employees identify the knowledge and skills needed to perform their job effectively and efficiently. And it helps communication and feedback drives the employee's focus. Yeah, there's my yeah. Okay. Communication and feedback helps drive the employee's focus towards completing the right task at the right time. So it helps with time management. It promotes personal growth and advancement in the career of employees by helping them learn new abilities and skills. So here's the performance management cycle. It is, as you can see, it is a continuous cycle that is repeated annually for the improvement of staff knowledge, skills, and abilities. This is done through planning. You plan the employee goals and development, acting on that plan and giving feedback, tracking the employee performance, and appraising the performance. This all leads to improved employee retention. So planning employee goals. So at the beginning of the performance management cycle, the employee and supervisor review the employee job description and draft annual employee goals. It is best not to have more than 5 goals. The employee's goals should always align with the organizational strategic plan, and especially those that are relevant to that employee's position. If the organization is grant-driven, it is always a good idea to align those goals with the grant project work plan. It is also recommended to have at least 1 employee development goal. This is to reinforce the concept that the employee should always continue learning. And I also like to recommend at least 1 stretch goal. This is something that will be a challenge to complete and will propel the employee further than anticipated. It acts as a motivational tool for employees, something achievable, but without a guarantee of success. And this is why I like the quote from Les Brown, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. So it gets employees sort of a little bit out of their comfort zone. It is also essential that employees actively participate in setting their goals. There we go. The supervisor, so the employee will draft the goals, and then the supervisor will review these to ensure that they are SMART, which is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. This is an open discussion where the employee sets their goals. It creates buy-in from the employee and also a greater willingness to succeed. So as part of the cycle, communication is very key to the success. At the beginning of the performance management cycle, it is important to communicate the organizational goals and how the employee's position fits into the overall big picture. It is also important to review with employees their performance expectations, including behavioral expectations and performance expectations. Yeah, it isn't. Hold on. It is important to review employees their performance expectations, including both the behavioral employees. I love the way I wrote it. It is important to review with employees their performance expectations, including both the behaviors employees are expected to exhibit and the results they are expected to achieve during the upcoming rating cycle. Employees can be excellent at achieving their goals, but do not fit into the organizational culture and cause problems with other employees. So it is best to cover expected employee behavior so the employee is productive and a good fit. Regular feedback and guidance is very important. This can be done through meetings between the supervisor and direct report. It needs to be transparent, and this will go towards improving employee performance and continuous coaching. This is very separate from goal tracking. This is a conversation. These regular meetings are used to check in on the employee's needs, concerns, management style preference, attitudes, and working relationship with fellow employees. Regular can be weekly or bi-weekly meetings, depending on the position or the needs of the employee. These timeframes allow for continuous communication. Meetings can be walk and talks to get you out of the office. This also gives a feeling of openness to the conversation. Sometimes if it's an uncomfortable conversation, then it's easier for two people to be looking forward than looking eye to eye. The feedback discussed is bidirectional and is a joint responsibility of both management and the employee. And employees want to feel that they are heard and have some input into the decision-making process. This is very important. So there are some guidelines for effectively giving feedback. It should be you should provide immediate, positive, and developmental feedback in a private location. You ask the employee's views about what could have been done differently. Use active listening skills by fully concentrating on what is being said. Listen with all your senses by being present and mindful. Be specific about what behaviors were effective or ineffective. And focus on what the person did or did not do, not personal characteristics. And then together, collaboratively plan steps to address any growth needs, such as taking a course, going to a seminar or a conference. And always, the supervisor should always offer help in addressing developmental needs and providing resources for the employee. So tracking employee goals. This is a form we actually use in our organization and have used for years to track the employee's goals that are set at the beginning of the performance management cycle. You can see there's room for 5 goals. Sometimes we actually only have 4 goals. There is a section there that says it was met, not yet met, or changed, because sometimes employee goals do have to change based upon the circumstances of the organization. If new projects are undertaken, or even if a project has been modified and it creates an obstacle and the goal cannot be achieved. And so the review of these goals will be done quarterly. It is noted in the little, any progress is noted in the little box to the right of the goal status. And by the end of the year, you should be able to have achieved all of your goals, or at least changed one if it didn't fit, and making progress towards that. So working towards goals, employees can receive coaching. Coaching is a highly individualized process that depends on the nature of the employee and focuses on the employee's strengths and developing them further. So it is really sort of a positive approach towards helping the employee reach their full potential. Coaching can be performed by the supervisor depending on their knowledge, skills, or abilities, or you can hire a leadership coach that can work with only the employee or with both leadership and the employee. This is usually done in a one-on-one setting. Sometimes it can be done in person or over the phone, and it is done over a period of time. So it is a series of sessions. Usually you can meet once a month, meet every few weeks. It just depends on everyone's schedule. And according to a 2015 survey, a strong coaching culture has been linked to increased business performance and employee engagement. And also, coaching is a great tool for employees who have been noted to have leadership ability and are part of the leadership succession plan. So the final step in the annual performance management cycle is the formal review. So the annual review, a formal review of an employee's achievements, it is documenting the achievements through a rating system in a formal organization-approved document. And this is filed in the employee personnel file and kept in the Human Resource Department. There should be no surprises or any concerns when you get to this part of the process, as all of those were addressed during regular meetings and feedback. There are typically 2 types of reviews done. An employee is reviewed by their supervisor, or a 360 review. So the employee reviewed by the supervisor, my suggestion is that the supervisor and the employee go off separately, do a draft assessment, fill out that form, the formal review form, and come back and meet in a private location. I prefer to go off-site if possible, and have the discussion about what they rated themselves or what the supervisor rated them, and see if they are close. Where there are differences, please always have data to support your assessment so it reduces any subjectivity. And then the 360 review is different in the sense that it is completed by the supervisor, the employee's peers, and also some external partners if necessary, and it is summarized into one document and then it is presented to the employee. A lot of times the 360 review is done in only leadership positions, not really entry level or management positions. Also, this is a good time to start the discussion about what the employee goals are for the next year. So we like to say what, if the review is that they need to work in a certain area, they didn't get an exceed in an area, then that's where that'll go as a part of their goal for the next year. And another item that I like to do that has come about recently in the last, I've heard in the last 5 or 6 years, is stay interviews. So per the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average employment tenure is 4.2 years. So a stay interview is a structured discussion a leader conducts with each individual employee to learn the specific actions he or she must take to strengthen the employee's engagement and retention at the organization. So employee turnover is one of the most costly things that an organization faces. So we try to keep retention of employees, especially employees that we've just gone through the performance management cycle and they're really working well. So the stay interview is a one-on-one discussion. It can be conducted anytime throughout the year or during the annual review process. And there are 5 questions that can be asked. And these are, when you travel to work each day, what do you look forward to? What are you learning? What are you learning here? Why do you stay here? When was the last time you thought about leaving our team and what prompted it? And what can I do to make your experience at work better? Sometimes some of the answers you hear may be hard to swallow. However, if you're truly interested in retaining the employee, the answers to these questions will help you understand what motivates them and also what makes them want to leave. So in summary, performance management is vitally important to both the organization and the employee. A happy employee makes for a happy organization. To keep staff engaged and meeting their full potential, use the performance management cycle, plan by setting the employee goals and development, act through doing the work set forth in the employee job description and goals, track progress through regular meetings, bi-directional feedback, and documenting quarterly employee goals, review progress of the goals made throughout the year and conduct a formal review and a stay interview. And this starts all over again at each year. These are some resources that I used in creating this presentation. And thank you for listening. If you have any questions, you can contact me at my work email address or work phone number. Thank you.